We'll be talking in the next few weeks about all the great shows that are coming up, any good concerts, and of course we're going to talk to the best of Australian celebrities and entertainment gurus. None more special than my special guest for this evening, Mr. John Swan. Welcome.
Thank you. Very nice.
Oh, you know,
Which part of guru do we fit into?
he paid me a little bit of money to say that. Now, John, you're living in Adelaide.
I am.
Now, but you're actually quite hard to get a hold of because you do most of your work interstate too.
Well, yeah, I've been doing the Bon Scott thing. That's been, last week was Melbourne and Sydney.
Yes.
And then, no, the week before was Melbourne, Sydney. Last week was Sydney. And just where the work is every time I move, I was in Queensland and there was everywhere. When I lived in Sydney, I was working in Queensland, Adelaide and Melbourne. So I bought a place up in the hills in Queensland in Mount Tamborine, great little spot. And all the work became sort of like everywhere else. So I thought, started to work over here a lot and we got a chance to move over here. So I just took it and just said, yeah, it's a great place to live.
It is. Now, the Bon Scott thing, that was with yourself, Dave Gleeson, Angry Anderson.
Mark Gable.
Ah, from the Choir Boys.
Yeah, and Paul DeMarco from Billy Thorpe's band.
Yes.
And Di Pritchard from Rose Tattoo and Billy Thorpe's band. You know, it's a good band.
Absolutely.
Great band.
So that was...
Rocked.
That was all about a tribute to Bon Scott,
30-year anniversary. You know, we didn't want to make it like a tribute show because we were all friends with Bon too, which makes it a little bit different. I wouldn't have done a tribute show as such, a bit like the Queen tribute show. No disrespect to them, I don't mean that disrespectfully at all. But with Bon, it had to be handled well, and we didn't want to get up there and go, you know, when me and Bon used to knock about it, because that's just, you know, it's a bit sad, you know. So we just thought we'd let the music do the talking and pick the right people for the right songs, you know. Who's young enough to remember the lyrics?
And I remember that song. How's it go again?
Oh God, 1, 2, 3,
I had
let's
2
nights
go.
Of it.
Oh, that's
it's funny,
right.
You can know a song so well and do it like a million times at rehearsal. I even learnt the guitar parts, you know, and get on stage and I'm doing Ride On. And because I haven't actually physically done it on stage, that's a different position. You stand there and they go, uh-oh, blank. But all you have to do is watch the audience and they're sort of standing there going,
Is that the time where you get your microphone and you go, your turn?
Yes, okay guys, take it away.
You see,
You've been there.
Well, they're the tricks that you pick up after, well, let's say 30-ish years in the business.
After a few years, in my 46th year.
Wow. So you started off when you were about 4 or 5?
Yeah. I love this guy.
And speaking of tributes, you did the Whole Lot of Love Led Zeppelin show as well.
Yeah, with Gleeson.
With Gleeson. And we had him on the other week actually with John Brewster doing the Angels things. But enough of them, they've got enough airtime. It's all about you.
Well, we've got a band together, so we're
well, there you go. It's so it's very tight knit in Adelaide.
Because we've been around so long. You know, like there's very few guys that you can actually play with, that you can get on with, and you know that there's no bullshit involved.
Yeah.
It's about the music, it's about the show, and delivering what the punters want to hear. Because you don't want to go out there and educate them with all your new product. I've made that mistake in the past. I've got 11 albums and I used to pick the tracks that I liked and go and do them, and it might not play the tracks that are on the new album. And then the punters, there's a couple of people from AC/DC's record company came up to me, FIFA Rick Bono, and said, you know, it was really good, but I wish I'd have heard more of your album. And I said, well, stick around, I'll play some more. She said, no, but people pay to come and see that, so you've got to, you know, you've got to do it.
And you've got to try.
And like something hit me over the head with a hammer. After all these years, you think you know the game, you know, and it's not. They pay to see the hits. That's what you've got to do. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So you do a lot of charity work now that you're actually based in Adelaide. It gives you an opportunity to actually give back a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I actually moved to Adelaide. I was doing this from Melbourne. I was working for the Arana Foundation and Music Matters at the Royal Adelaide Hospital and the Hampstead Rehabilitation Hospital. And I couldn't do it properly because I wasn't on the ground. You've got to be on the ground to do that type of thing. My niece Amanda looks after it and she does a great job. And when I got the chance to come over here, I just thought, you know what, I'm at that point in my life now where I want to give something back and do things for people, and I can't do much else. I don't have the finances to be able to give them, you know, heart monitors and all that sort of stuff. What can I do that will make them happy? And I came across and we sat down and played some songs in the oncology unit to some women that were there. And you've got to sing sort of fairly soft because they're getting chemo put in their body, they're getting toxic, you know. So I sort of sat there and I just got it. That's all that people want to be. It's just like, people say music's a healing thing and it's good for the spirit, it's good for the soul. It was just wonderful to have that connection for me to get that loose and nice and relaxed and play, where you're not trying to knock them dead, you're just trying to sing to them. And,
it's not a set of countdown.
Yeah.
Going out there and doing all of this stuff. So, well, you do that around, don't you? You go around and you play songs.
Yeah, I go from ward to ward, and we do the thoracic, you know, we do the oncology. I did the sort of mental part of it, you know, and that was an experience because I got on really well in there, you know, and I fitted perfectly.
Well, you lived a life, Dale, didn't you?
One of the guys came up and I was sitting playing Mercury Blues, Alan Jackson's song, and he's sort of sitting there and he's watching my fingers, and as I was playing away, I was playing through the E pattern, you know, and he said, "What's that?" And I said, "That's a C minor, C major 7." He goes, "Oh, okay, fine," you know. So he took the guitar off me, and I'm sitting there with this kid's taking my guitar, and he's trying to play it, but he was so focused. They've got injuries, brain injuries, but they focus in, and what they do focus in, they get really good, you know. And I really like that. It doesn't take much in my life to make me happy, but if you can get through the day and make somebody else's day a little bit brighter, it certainly makes my day, you know.
Well, you lived a bit of a life, bit of a rock and roller, and was this at one point when you suddenly went, that's enough of that? Well,
it was more than one point. It was 11 years ago. I just stopped. I couldn't do anything else. I thought I was dying. I had only a couple of weeks to live. You know? I was bleeding and from all orifices, and it wasn't very nice at all. And I had become agoraphobic. I didn't go out. I stopped drinking. I stopped taking drugs. I stopped doing all that stuff. But the main thing is that I couldn't deal with life on life's terms, you know, and I just didn't get it. And for 18 months, I didn't drink, and it wasn't so much. That's the end result of it, you know, was the drinking and all that. But it was a lot of problems that I had to sort out. And I finally got somebody came along, and my brother Jimmy sent Ian Miller, passed away since.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was a beautiful guy. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today. And those guys showed me how I could get on with my life normally. And what they were doing was not so much stuff that you would expect. I mean, I've had the big boats, I've had the nice Jags and the Mercs and, you know, 5 acres and the Sydney and all that sort of stuff. But that's good. But it didn't, and I mean this sincerely, it didn't really make me that happy. It was more, what I'm doing now makes me happy every day. I'm grateful to be here and to contribute. You know?
And you've got Thailand coming up. That's where you're getting a whole heap of musos together.
Yep.
And if you want any info on Swanee and what he's doing, and especially this Thailand trip, because there's going to be a whole heap of people going along, yourself, John Stevens from Noiseworks.
We're talking to Ross Wilson, Joe Camilleri. But in a couple of weeks' time, we've got a little quiz night here in Adelaide to raise money so we can get these guys to come. So that'll be at Chaos Cafe in Hindley Street, and we'll have the orchestra, and I'll be doing Beatles stuff.
Ah, that's right, the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra and yourself. Yeah. That's a good one to go along and see. So if you want to check out anything that's going on with Swanee, this is a man who's very active on his Facebook page. If you think that you're talking to Swanee, you actually are. So see, it's Swanee01, isn't it?
Yeah.
And thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Sorry I talked so much.
That's what we do here. And make sure you keep it fun. Thanks.
Cheers.
It's me again. Brad and Liz, with their convincing ways, have managed to ask Mr. John Swan to do us a song to take us out. He said yes, Mr. John Swan.
Swan, thank you. Cheers, lads. I were a carpenter and you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Oh, would you have my baby? If a tinker were my trade, would you still find me carrying the pots I made, follow close behind me? Well, I'd save my love from loneliness, I'd save my love from sorrow, I'd give you my own
give me up tomorrow if I were a carpenter and you were my baby girl. If I were a mellow, had a mill wheel grinding, would you marry me anyway? Or would you have my baby? I said I'd save my love from loneliness, I'd save my love from sorrow, I'd give you my onlyness. Come give me your tomorrow if I were a carpenter. If I were a carpenter. If I were a carpenter. What if I were a carpenter? And you were my baby girl. And you were my baby girl.
Yes. Well done, Swanee. Lovely. Ozrock legend John Swan, only on Beyond. Thank you, Swanee, for coming on board.
Absolute pleasure, thank you.
Have a great night, mate. Look after yourself.
Cheers.
Cheers.
God bless you. Look after yourself.
I'm speechless.
This is in awe. This is in awe.
Thank you.
Good night, Julie. Good night, Liz. And good night to you at home. We'll see you
folks.
beyond.